Mahomes has established himself as the new generational quarterback of the late 2010s and the 2020s. Even with his first bad season, which was 2025, he's still cemented as a future Hall of Famer. With 3 rings and a 17-4 playoff record, it seems like everything goes his way.
But this cannot be said without some bullshit out of his control positively affecting him and the Chiefs. Like Tom Brady, Mahomes has benefited massively from quote-unquote dark magic moments, weird shit happening in his favor so that the Chiefs win. And while no other NFL player could have a career time of dark magic like Tom Brady, Patrick Mahomes is the closest to Tom Brady in terms of stupid shit going in his way. I will go over all the dark magic bullshit that Mahomes has had in his career. The 2018 season was legitimately a great Chiefs season. After all, the 2018 Chiefs offense is it's third all time in offensive points per game, averaging a whopping 35.3 points per game, which led 2018, and no offense today has came close to the output. Possibly the 2019 Ravens or the 2024 Lions, but no offense since the 2018 Chiefs has came close to averaging 35 points per game. His defense that year also gave up an NFL record 419 first downs, which makes his 2018 season even more impressive with the fact that he had to carry an actual dog shit defense. Overall, 2018 was like not really that much dark magic. It did not begin in 2018. Maybe perhaps a few games Mahomes had a few fucking bullshit things out of his control going his way. But overall, 2018 was a legitimate historic season by Patrick Mahomes, and honestly, it's top 10 all-time for quarterback seasons. Now, 2019 is where this bullshit begins. I've been a Ravens fan since 2022, and before that, I was foolishly sort of a Chargers fan from 2012 to 2022 because my mom and my brother were Chargers fans, so I had to go with that shitty tradition. And I was in 7th grade during Mahomes' breakout season, and in 8th grade for his 2019 season. So I do know bullshit when I see it, and I've been watching football consistently since middle school, so I absolutely do know, and I've watched most of these games. His first real dark magic did not occur in the regular season, but in the 2019 AFC divisional round against the Texans. The Chiefs found themselves down by 24 whole points by the beginning of the second quarter, and then came back to win 51-31. Now, this isn't straight dark magic per se, as they won by 20 points. Perhaps if the Chiefs won by one score, this game would have had way more dark magic, but the Chiefs and Mahomes ultimately did their job and exceeded it by coming back down from 24 and putting up 51 points. Still an anomaly. Next, real dark magic happened in the next game, the AFC Championship against the Titans. The Chiefs defense managed to hold King Henry, who had 377 rushing yards at 5.1 yards per carry combined from the wild card and divisional round, to only 69 yards on 19 carries, which was 3.6 yards per carry, and his regular season average in 2019 was 5.1, which was a negative 1.5 drop-off the Chiefs defense forced. Even more crazy is how the Chiefs defense that year, despite allowing 308 points in the regular season, they were 26th in rushing yards allowed and 29th in yards per carry allowed, a whopping 4.9 yards per carry teams averaged against the Chiefs. Hell, in the Week 10 matchup where the Titans won, Derrick Henry had 188 rushing yards on 23 carries and 2 fucking touchdowns. And then in the championship, the Bonnie Blue-led Chiefs run defense somehow caged Henry and didn't allow even 70 rushing yards from him. Like, what the fuck? Like, literally in the Week 4 victory over the Lions, Kerryon Johnson managed to put up 125 rushing yards on 26 carries against the Chiefs. And you might be asking, who? And that's my point. The Chiefs' run defense was horseshit all year, but then against a league rusher in the championship, they put up a fucking brick wall? Undoubtedly, Mahomes' dark magic in action, but it would get worse in the years to come. This is just the beginning. In the Super Bowl, the moment that stood out to me then and now is Jimmy Garoppolo's overthrown pass to Emmanuel Sanders. With less than 2 minutes remaining in the fourth, down 20-24, Emmanuel Sanders was deep down there. He wasn't wide open, but he was in a good position to catch the ball. But Jimmy G overthrew him. Now, even if he caught it, we're not too sure if he would have ran it for the touchdown or get tackled. But to deny the strategic blow of Jimmy G's overthrow and to say that Emmanuel Sanders' supposed catch would have made an impact, you're lying to yourself and you're full of shit. Now, the fourth dark magic instance for Patrick Mahomes, we skip to the 2020 AFC divisional round versus the worst 11-win team since the 2012 Colts, the Cleveland Browns. Less than 2 minutes before the second half and down by 13 points, Baker Mayfield threw a great pass to Rashard Higgins to get a touchdown, but the Chiefs safety Daniel Sorensen very obviously headhunted Higgins, which caused a fumble on a touchback, and the refs never threw a flag for this. This missed penalty for sure did not matter in the long-term run of this game. Later in the game, Mahomes went down with a head injury and was ruled out. So backup Chad Henne, who had more career interceptions than career touchdowns, had to take over. Guess what? Even when Mahomes was at the helm of his offense, he managed to will this dog shit quarterback to nearly convert a 3rd and 15 on the fucking run to set up a 4th and 1, and he checked down a Tyreek Hill to seal the fucking game. Now remember Daniel Sorensen's ignored headhunt that prevented the Browns from scoring a touchdown? Yeah, the Browns lost to the Chiefs 17-22. If Sorensen was flagged for his obvious collision, the Browns would have had a very easy touchdown at the red zone. And if they had got a touchdown, they would have most likely won the game advanced because it would have been 24-22. But this is the Browns after all. So who would have known that sorry ass team would even fucking come out with the win? Because Mahomes Dark Magic would have done some more bullshit, even if they fucking flagged Daniel Sorensen. Going into 2021, the next Dark Magic moment is the Chiefs wildcard game. Not because they won in a bullshit way, but because who they had to play. The 9-7-1 Steelers, who had a negative point margin of negative 55 on the year and negative 0.7 yards per play margin also. That's my only gripe because the Chiefs won 42-21. They just beat their ass. They did what they had to do. And, they were playing a washed Ben Roethlisberger, so I can't be too mad they won. The Dark Magic really amps up in the next game of the division round against the Bills. Josh Allen managed to hit a supposed game-winning touchdown to leave 13 seconds left on the clock for the Chiefs and go up 36-33, effectively sealing the game. Well, you wouldn't believe what happened. In just 2 plays, Mahomes managed to lead the Chiefs from their own 25 down to the fucking field goal range to tie the goddamn game and send it to overtime. They then won the coin toss and then got the game-winning touchdown in overtime. What makes this even more satanic is that the Bills' defense that year was number 1 in categories like points allowed, yards per play allowed, passing yards allowed, and they even had 30 takeaways. Now, I'm pretty sure elite defenses in the playoffs have been diced and O.J. Simpson in the past, but I am very 100% sure that no defense in the playoffs that has ranked both number 1 in points and yards allowed has ever allowed a game-time score in 13 seconds. Hell, I'd say less than 20 seconds. If I'm wrong, please find me another quarterback that managed to lead his team to a field goal to tie the game with 20 seconds or less left against a defense that ranked number 1 in multiple categories. For 2022, the Dark Magic doesn't get any better. In fact, they won a ring that season. This season, Mahomes and the Chiefs finished 14-3 and the first seed. And the Dark Magic didn't really happen up until the AFC Championship versus the Bengals. Late in the game, when the Chiefs needed to drive into field goal range to potentially kick the game-winning field goal, Mahomes ran out of bounds with 15 seconds remaining. But Bengals edge rusher Joseph Osai hit him late, which drew a 15-yard penalty, which set the Chiefs into field goal range immediately. They then kicked the game-winning field goal with 3 seconds left, and the Bengals, 3 seconds, you can't just do anything with that. So pretty much that game-winning drive was awarded to them because fucking Joseph Osai couldn't keep his hands to himself. Now the Super Bowl is where the stupid shit happens a lot. Mahomes finished the Super Bowl with the win and went 21 for 27, 3 touchdowns, and a 131.8 pass rating. You might say, actually, he had a 77.8 completion rate and 3 TDs and not a turnover. That's not Dark Magic, that's skill. You're just jealous. But this stat line does not tell the whole story. Mahomes only threw for 182 passing yards, which means the yards per attempt were a weak 6.7, and his yards per completion were a bad 8.7. Not even a first down per completion. In the Super Bowl since the first one in 1966, quarterbacks who have thrown for less than 7 yards per attempt and less than 10 yards per completion are 5-8 in the big game. And if you exclude Tom Brady, quarterbacks with less than 7 yards per attempt and less than 10 yards per completion are 2-7 in the Super Bowl. Without Mahomes and Brady, quarterbacks are 1-7 in the Super Bowl. Other than putting up check down and slant numbers and winning, another huge Dark Magic factor was Kadarius Toney returning the longest punt return in Super Bowl history to set the Chiefs up with a very short touchdown drive. This thug, who is currently teamless and has only 760 receiving yards in 4 years, somehow made the longest punt return in the Super Bowl and made Mahomes' job much easier. If there's any player that's a one-play wonder, it's Kadarius Toney and David Tyree. And immediately, literally the season after Super Bowl 57, Kadarius Toney became so hated among Kansas City fans because he was such butterfingers. And you're telling me this dude managed to make Mahomes' job easier in the Super Bowl just for one time? The third instant of Dark Magic in this Super Bowl was James Bradbury's holding penalty with less than 154 left in the fourth on a 3rd and 8. If this was not a holding penalty and just a missed throw, the Chiefs would have likely kicked a field goal and the Eagles would have a full minute left to score a game winner. But when Bradbury held, it gave the Chiefs a new set of downs, which they drained the clock down to 8 seconds left of the game, which pretty much gave the Eagles no time to come back, and we all saw what happened with Jalen Hurts' attempted Hail Mary. If you're trying to claim Bradbury's hold was irrelevant and didn't affect the outcome of the game, you are lying to yourself, especially considering how the Chiefs, after the flag, drained the clock to a mere 8 seconds left. Now, before I stop ranting about the Super Bowl, the last dark magic moment happened when Jalen Hurts fumbled without contact, which led to a Chiefs defensive touchdown. Now, maybe not, this defensive touchdown didn't matter at the end of the game, the outcome. I'm not too certain, but I do know that this was a contactless fumble. Like, look at this. His 2 arms are out. Nick Bolton's 2 arms are out, not even touching him. Like, what tackled him? Like, maybe you could say his third leg fucking touched him, but like, what contact was there really? Jalen Hurts just fumbled himself. Also, this isn't even factoring in that Mahomes, after 2022, managed to defeat the Madden cover curse and also the MVP curse. This is some real dark magic. How do you defeat 2 well-known curses? Into the 2023 playoffs, Mahomes' dark magic strikes once again when Bills kicker Tyler Bass missed a game-tying 44-yard field goal despite being 9 for 9 in field goals when tied or trailing by less than 3 points. And after that, the Chiefs ate the clock and they just won the game. Now with this one, I could still see the Chiefs winning this game, even if the field goal did tie the game. But like, what the fuck? The dude was clutch and he missed it. Like, that's just crazy. Like, Mahomes must have channeled some sort of wind power to blow that kickoff course. Now the next was against the Ravens in the AFC Championship. Patrick Mahomes, despite him and his team being scoreless in the second half, won this fucking game. In fact, teams who get shut out in the second half of an AFC or NFC Championship game are 1-20, with a single win belonging to Mahomes. Another insane thing is that the Ravens offense only had 27 yards on 8 carries, excluding Lamar Jackson's rushing stats. So the Ravens offense, despite being elite that year on the run, for some reason chose not to run the ball. And this is weird considering how the Chiefs defense on the run was 24th on yards per carry and 18th in rushing yards allowed. The final bullshit of this moment was Zay Flowers' goal line fumble. I remember seeing this shit, and that just fucking blew my mind. How the fuck do you fumble at the goal line? Usually when people turn it over at the red zone, we expect an interception, but a fumble. Like, you're right there. Cross the plane and just tuck the damn ball in. Well, I mean, at least this one, they actually had contact with Zay Flowers because, remember, the Jalen Hurts one, he just fumbled himself. But, like, it's not like this fumble touchdown had any long-run implications when the final score appeared. There was no really dark magic that the Chiefs had against the Niners in the Super Bowl of 2023. But before 2025, the 2024 Chiefs had the worst point margin and yards per play on offense in the Mahomes era. Despite this, Mahomes and the Chiefs went 15-2 on the year. Since 1972, there have been 38 times where a team has 14 or more wins. The 2024 Chiefs are one of them. Out of 38 teams with 14 wins or more, the 2024 Chiefs rank out of 38, 38th in point margin, tied 29th in turnover margin, 38th in yards per play margin, and 34th in points per game on offense, and reached their 3rd straight Super Bowl. 2024 was only 2 years ago, and this season is still fresh in the minds of many, including me. And I remember, despite the Chiefs being 15 wins, I knew, they weren't a very dominant 15-win team. And I was checking up on them, on Pro Football Reference, and seeing, how the fuck are these guys 15 wins? How are they 7-0 at one point? But then you look at the games, I've seen most of them, you're winning in probably the stupidest fucking luckiest, way ever. It was 7-0 at one point, and, they were, the most boring team that was 7-0. It wasn't even possible. There had to have been some sort of, satanic sacrifice, Epstein dark magic in the Chiefs locker room for them to pull most of these bullshit off. Starting off quickly of Isaiah Likely's fucking toe that wasn't in bounds. I saw this shit, I was fucking awestruck. 4th and 16, Mahomes throws, falls incomplete. But there's a flag, which was a legitimate flag. But this put the Chiefs well into field goal range. They later kicked the game-winning kick. Broncos line up for potential game-winning field goal. But Patrick Mahomes previously sacrificed a baby to Moloch, so they block it and they win. On the sideline, Mahomes reveals his arrowhead to Aiden O'Connell, which causes him to salivate and forget the snap. He ends up fumbling, and the Chiefs recover to win. Against the Chargers, Mahomes channels his inner wind powers in order to redirect the kick to doink back in for the win. Now, this is like all the dark magic moments I know I remember. I'm not gonna. The only reason why I put like the 2024 regular season games is because those like massively help the Chiefs go 15-2 despite being like very statistically not a 15-win team. I mean, 2025 they had a down year. They lost the ring in 2024. You know, and honestly, 2026, I would not be surprised in the slightest if the Chiefs go back to the Super Bowl and win. It's like trying to doubt Tom Brady. Like, you could doubt him, but he's going to make you eat your own words, and you're going to be eating shit soon.